This is the home and the heart of the Ashtanga Yoga lineage, right? There's no other place on earth that really carries the seed of Guruji's life. And when you come to Mysore, you're tapping into that. You know, it's the journey home for the Ashtanga practitioner. Mysore is not a vacation. And that's really part of the definition of yoga, right? Yoga is not an escape. Right? It's not going to take your problems away and make you think, oh, everything's perfect. When I'm practicing, everything that presents itself as an opportunity to use the physical practice as a mirror to look within. The thoughts that come up during practice, I find, are often indicative of the most repetitive psychological patterns that we have. You know, you find yourself thinking self-deprecating thoughts, or you find yourself thinking, you know, self-limiting thoughts, or you find yourself, you know, hating yourself or uncomfortable in your body or something during your practice. Well, you get this opportunity to have no other excuse. So you can't say, oh, well, that was a trigger, that they did that to me. It's just you and your thoughts. My experience is that, you know, some days you have a practice where a lot of this inner dialogue is there, and then those are the days I kind of feel like you're actually doing a lot of the work of burning through the obstacles, because all of those thoughts for me, they're like the obstacles that come up in your mind. And then, of course, at some moment, I mean, not at the beginning, I wasn't interested in the philosophy in the beginning, but the more I did the physical practice, the more my mind opened up to be able to find and look for the answers to where's the spiritual aspect of the practice in, you know, texts like the Yoga Sutras, or looking at some of the more, you know, the deeper aspects of the philosophy. In the physical practice, I think that the most important way to find the softness is through the subtle body. You start off with this gross relationship to the body, and then over many years, there starts to be this subtlety, this refinement, this energy flow. And then you have this feeling of that there's so much more to what we inhabit in our physical forms than the tissues of, you know, the neurobiology that we inhabit, that there's this presence. And if we can tap into the subtlety of the energy flow on a deeper level, then the physical, well, it all just follows, right? And then I think there's the possibility to have a truly effortless practice and beautiful results at the same time if you're, you know, connected to the subtle body on its most deepest and flowing level. Well, I mean, I guess the word we're using for this in Yoga Sutras is Purusha, right? Like the soul or something like this. Even though it's not exactly soul, but the watching consciousness, the pure light of awareness. There's, you could say, God. You know, that we're touching the God within. Through the practice of yoga, you learn that if you try to overpower things, if you try to accomplish things, you know, with brute force or over-activation, then you end up hurting yourself. And if you take that same attitude to life, you end up hurting others. So rather than using the practice to, you know, hide places of weakness or hide insecurities, the idea is to actually go directly into them, you know, lean into it. The places that scare you are the places that are most possible for you to connect with others. So it's like the strength in the practice comes from the ability to go directly into places that are our most private, our most tenuous, our most vulnerable, and then bring those out into the light, share those with other people so that our hearts can open, you know. I almost feel like the more that my heart breaks and the more that I'm able to share that, the more that the practice is working. And the stronger I become, because then, you know, I don't have to feel like I have to keep it all together, or I don't have to feel like there's this facade that needs to be out there. Instead, there's just, you know, whatever's arising in the moment, whether it's pleasurable, whether it's painful, you know, whether it's sadness or whether it's, you know, happiness or bliss. It's all just, you know, part of the never-ending stream of consciousness. And as long as it's possible to stay present to that, stay honest with that, and openly share, then I think that that's actually the strength that comes from the practice. The experience of practicing in the shala here in Mysore is unlike anywhere else in the world. Your mind is so much more concentrated, so much more clear, and so much more calm. If you're practicing quite early in the earlier batches, you're going to be practicing in an hour that you would just never normally do at home. So to experience how calm the mind can be at that hour and how the true power of the practice is working, there's a true inner fire that happens. You know, this notion of tapas, the inner fire that's being cultivated, it's really turned on when you come into the room here to a degree that it's just not anywhere else. The other thing that really happens is the body's, because of the energy, I think, of the shala, of Guruji spending so much time there, of Sharat being present, and also so many different levels of practitioners from all over the world gathered together with the concentrated intention of going deeper into the Ashtanga Yoga method, makes it possible for your body to be carried along by the energy. And you ride the wave, you ride the current, and you're more flexible, you're stronger. Things are possible, things flow. It's like obstacles are removed just by the virtue of joining the train. And it's just like a miracle. You know, it's a wonderful flow. One of the things that I've personally experienced is that particularly, you know, when Guruji was still alive, I would sometimes have like a nagging injury, something like this, that would be going on for months at a time. I had something in my shoulder that really took a long time to heal. I had, you know, the list, I'm not gonna start the list of, you know, Ashtanga yoga people have a list of injuries forever. So I remember the experience of having, you know, having a pain in the body that wouldn't go away, wouldn't respond to other treatments. And if Guruji was in the room, the pain was not there. It was just not there. And it was like magic, you know, and the longer time that I actually spent in his presence, the more that my body started to actually set to the memory of, hey, now the pain's gone forever. The pattern maybe is gone. If I have to pick one thing that I'm left with, I think it's faith, you know, and the notion that if you believe in yourself and you align your mind and your whole heart and consciousness with a true intention, that there's nothing we can't accomplish. You know, there's nothing the human spirit, the human body can't accomplish. And, you know, the notion is metaphorical from the practice. You start with this feeling of impossibility where you don't know what you feel like, you don't know who you are. And then you place the mind. For me, I placed my mind inside of the body, and I felt like it would be impossible to balance in a headstand. It would be impossible to balance in a handstand. And then to have the slow, steady experience of moving from a place of impossibility over, you know, not 6 months, not a year, but 5 years, 10 years of practice, to watch the slow, steady evolution of the human spirit. My faith in the ability of human consciousness to constantly evolve, to constantly grow, is something that I could never imagine having. And I feel like that was Guruji's gift to me more than anything else. The ability to believe in myself and the ability to believe in other people, the ability to have faith that, you know, no matter how difficult it seems, there is ease and grace just on the other side. Let's keep going, have faith, keep practicing.